The court found that the missile that downed the flight MH17 was fired by a member of the Russian military crew of the Buck-Taylor or by a member of the DPR. It was not necessary for the court to decide exactly who fired the missile, since Russia was responsible for the acts of the Russian armed force and of the armed separatists.
Russia shot down Malaysia Airlines Flight MH17, killing all 298 people on board. This is the ruling of Europe's top human rights court, the European Court of Human Rights, or ECHR. MH17, a Boeing 777, was flying from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur on July 17, 2014, when it was shot down over eastern Ukraine. The missile used? A Russian-made Buk, fired from territory held by pro-Moscow separatists. All 283 passengers and 15 crew members were killed. Reading the judgment, Court President Matthias Guiomar said the missile was likely fired intentionally, mistakenly believing MH17 was a military aircraft. The court said Russia's refusal to accept responsibility and its failure to investigate properly violated international law. It also intensified the suffering of victims' families.
No measures were taken by Russia to accurately identify the intended target of the missile in breach of international human law. The killing of the civilians on board flight MH17 could not be described as a lawful act of war and violated the right to life under the convention.
This isn't the first time Russia has been held responsible. In May, the UN's aviation agency also found Moscow accountable for the MH17 tragedy. In the same session, the ECHR ruled that Russia committed war crimes during its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. These included murder, rape, torture, destruction of homes, and even the abduction of Ukrainian children. Judge Guiomar said Russia used sexual violence as a weapon of war, a deliberate strategy to break Ukrainian morale. Such acts, he said, amounted to torture under international law.
Taken as a whole, the evidence presented a picture of interconnected practices of manifestly unlawful conduct by agents of the Russian state on a massive scale across Ukraine. These included a practice of military attacks that were variously indiscriminate, disproportionate, and targeted at residential areas in breach of international humanitarian law.
The court's ruling runs 501 pages long. It also notes that Russia's refusal to participate in proceedings was itself a violation of the European Convention on Human Rights. The European Court of Human Rights is part of the Council of Europe. Though Russia was expelled in 2022, the court can still hear older cases, and Moscow remains legally obligated to respond. The court will decide later on financial compensation. But with Russia out of the council, actual enforcement is doubtful. Asked ahead of the ruling, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said, "We won't abide by it. We consider it void." Meanwhile, Ukraine hailed the ruling as historic and unprecedented. Officials called it an undeniable victory for truth, justice, and the people of Ukraine. For more such important international updates, subscribe to the Indian Express on YouTube. We bring you facts that matter, judgments that change history, and stories that demand justice.